Eagle Pass, Texas sits on the Rio Grande bordering Mexico. There's 2 ports of entry into the town, but migrants have been illegally entering through an area called Shelby Park, braving the river, only to find the Texas and Louisiana National Guard on the other side. KTBS 3's Madison Edwards spent time with Guard members in Shelby Park, and he has more in this in-depth story.
As dawn breaks over the border city of Eagle Pass, Texas, the National Guard rises, ready to interdict illegal entry into the United States.
The Louisiana National Guard is reinforcing the Texas National Guard in Operation Lone Star. They are detecting and denying entry to illegal immigrants that are trying to cross the border at Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, Texas.
For the Louisiana National Guard, our traditional state missions are all hazard events. So being here on the border, this is a different type of mission that we have encountered in the past, being largely a humanitarian issue with illegal migrant crossings.
My time in Eagle Pass was spent touring the areas south of Shelby Park, where the Louisiana National Guard's 2nd Squadron, 108th Cavalry Regiment, patrolled the banks of the Rio Grande. On January 10th, Texas state law enforcement took control of Shelby Park under emergency declarations. They've turned it into a fortress.
These anti-climb barrier panels, C-wire and razor wire dot the Rio Grande in Eagle Pass and Shelby Park.
Texas National Guard engineers have installed over 100 miles of concertina wire along the riverbanks. This is the most aggressive defense of Texas's border, but not the first time a barrier has been placed. The border fence put up during the George Bush administration is about a quarter mile away from where the barricades are now.
Behind me is the original border wall that was put up in the Bush era. It's 20 feet high and miles long, but it's also pretty far away from the banks of the Rio Grande. That's why the Army Corps of Engineers, along with the Texas Military Department engineers, crafted the area of Shelby Park and south of it that's extremely close to the banks of the Rio Grande, putting up anti-climbing barricades, C-wire and razor wire directly where the brush hits the river.
Though it seems impenetrable, migrants continue to cut holes in the fence to cross. We shortly encountered a group of migrants who had just crossed the river.
We've been informed that there is a group of 4 migrants attempting to cross right now. They've actually made it over the Rio Grande. You can see behind me they are stopped by the C-wire. We also have 3 troops from the Louisiana National Guard that have intercepted them, trying to make communication, trying to tell them, no, do not come through here, go back to Mexico. These people have been telling us that they are from Cuba, as we could understand as much. They went from Cuba to Mexico, and now they are here in Eagle Pass, Texas. We're seeing clothes strewn about, people who have used them to get over the wire, left behind. Hundreds upon thousands of articles of clothing left. We talked with the Louisiana National Guard, and they did say that one of the biggest challenges has been the humanitarian crisis.
Well, I think the largest challenge that we're running into is the human aspect of this. Being from Louisiana, we support our state, and we're used to all hazards events such as hurricanes. So all our soldiers are used to supporting for these emergency events. But coming down here, not only is it a state emergency event, but it's a humanitarian event as well.
We returned later that night to get a sense of how many people attempt to cross during the darkness. We were met with a shocking and heart-wrenching sight.
Just 15 minutes after we ended our 10 o'clock newscast on a Thursday night, we were met with a group of 13 to 14 migrants. The Louisiana and Texas National Guard intercepted these people crossing the Rio Grande late in the evening. That's whenever they start to see coordinated groups and individuals have an uptick in crossings. Thankfully, the anti-climbing barricades, the C-wire and the razor wire, along with the many troops behind me, were able to stop them from coming in. This group of 13 people, 3 of them with them children, 1 of them a young baby.
This was the humanitarian aspect Captain Neely was speaking about, seeing children among the wire with nowhere to go but back across the river. We had to leave shortly after due to safety concerns. With the group that large, we were unable to figure out what happened to them. According to a memo from Texas Governor Greg Abbott, illegal immigration is down 72% in Texas as of March. Captain Neely attributes his troops to some of that success.
Being here as a member of the Louisiana National Guard is making an impact along the border. Seeing that the numbers of illegal migrant crossings is decreasing shows that it is successful. We're proud that we were selected to come out here because we know Louisiana sent the finest when it comes to completing this mission.